Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Debbie Morris on the line, and she is the founder over at Live, Learn, Serve. Debbie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Well, I'm excited to get into today's topic. So you just launched Live, Learn, Serve, your online course, and also I want to get into what's going on over at in personal visioning, which I need to know your wording on that a little more because I've not heard visioning. I'm in, though. I love adding the ing to it. But just to start us off, let's get into what you're doing over at Live, Learn, Serve. So tell us a little bit more about your concept, please.
Well, I started Live, Learn, Serve just because I felt like there was a need for a community dedicated to sort of helping folks achieve their greatest potential. So I've been in human resources for a very long time, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I feel like I do that in a corporate setting, getting folks to be their best at work. However, I feel like, folks transition. People always come to me for sort of career advice and things that they should be doing. And in helping others, I realized that there was a need that was broader than career, and people are just looking to find more fulfillment and value and purpose in what they do.
So what kind of clients are going to be the right fit typically for Live, Learn, Serve?
So typically, I feel like the folks that I tend to help the most are folks in some type of transition. So either like you've been working for a long period of time and you may have gotten maybe laid off, or you're just kind of rethinking your path. You've been doing something for a long period of time, and you're like, this doesn't really sit well with me. It doesn't really feel good. I'm at a point in my life where I don't think I am where I thought I would be. So those are types of the types of inquiries that I feel like I get the most. But I feel like when folks seek me out, it's really focused on, well, I need another job. Help me get a job. And the asks have been very urgent. Whereas, upon deeper reflection, there are things that people need to be thinking about further or before they get to the point of looking for a job.
What does a typical engagement look like with Live, Learn, Serve? Is it like a month, a week, a year, or ongoing, just to give a feel? And the reason I ask these questions is there's a lot of people listening right now that they're listening and they're like, I kind of need some help, and they're thinking, is Debbie the right one for me? So tell us a little bit more about the process.
So absolutely. So right now, Live, Learn, Serve is mainly online courses. And so what I'm looking to do is be able to sort of teach the foundation and the basics through online courses, webinars, and then getting deeper and more reflective in group-type workshops. I also do sort of one-on-one coaching and, sort of an exploration of strengths and values, but I focus mainly on sort of teaching the foundations and the basics of things that you should be considering as you're sort of planning a longer-term career or just sort of the things that you want to pursue in life.
I think that's a great transition, too. So the first online course has been launched, so personal visioning. So teach me more, visioning.
Visioning, yeah. So, I started here just because, again, I found like, when people come to me and they ask for help and advice, it's always really urgent. And so, like, to really, provide the best service or the best advice, what I'm looking for is ultimately, so what do you want to do in life? So where do you feel like all of these jobs or opportunities are going to take you? It's not necessarily finding or nailing down the job in the moment, but what are you going to be your next 2 or 3 steps? And so I find with visioning, like if you have sort of the foundation of who you are, what you're good at, where you thrive or where you strive to be, you can be much more focused and intentional about where you spend your time and the opportunities that you actually consider. So the visioning course, sort of helps you kind of determine and land on a strategic statement for yourself. And so what I found was that at work and being in corporate HR for all these years, we are really good at doing this for other people and other organizations. And we rarely spend the amount of time that we need to sort of look within ourselves to kind of determine those things. And so I found that just a lot of the practices and the principles and the methodology that we practice at work can really apply to an individual. So a lot of like that strategic planning, you can actually, do that for yourself. And really what that comes out to is personal visioning. And so personal visioning, it ends up being sort of a combination of what you're good at, your strengths, what you value, what is your moral compass, what are you interested in, what are your deepest desires, and what does the world need, basically. And it's combining all those components to come up with a statement that you can kind of use to sort of chart your course.
Where do you think people typically go wrong when it comes to and I know it's going to change from person to person, of course, and from career tenure, all that good stuff, but where do you think people typically go wrong in personal visioning?
I think people try to sort of land on what they feel like is right, and not necessarily spend the time in trying to determine what's right for them. So, and that's because we just don't spend the time. And I think, people, and a lot of people, this is, something that we all kind of struggle with, is taking the time to test things and being open to failing. So it's like, how likely are you going to do something new if you know in the end that you're going to fail at it? But those are the experiences that you kind of need to sort of be able to test and grow and really confirm what your strengths are and what you desire to be. And so if you're never really putting yourself in the position of trying anything new or putting yourself in the position to be vulnerable and fail, what do you really learn about yourself? So I think that just, we have to kind of build the rigor and the comfort and the openness of being able to try new things, do things in a draft, and feel okay when it doesn't work out exactly how you thought it would because you learned something from it. And so I feel like, what I find with professionals or experienced professionals, you go through I went to college, I majored in this, and that set me on the track for this, and my parents told me, I shouldn't do liberal arts. They told me I needed to do science, and that's why I did that. And it was acceptable by my community, and I needed to be corporate. So you do all these things because you feel like it's the right thing to do, but not necessarily take the time to establish what exactly is right for you.
No, I love it. So, Debbie, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Live, Learn, Serve or your personal visioning course, what's the best way for them to reach out?
So I would say start with livelearnserve.com. That is where you can find more out. You can find more about Live, Learn, Serve as well as the personal visioning course. You can reach out to me directly on LinkedIn. People reach out to me directly all the time, and I'm happy to converse with you there. And then also on Instagram, I'm on live.learn.serve, and so you can follow us on Instagram.
Fantastic. Well, hey, Debbie, it's been great having you on the show, and congrats again on launching Live, Learn, Serve. I'm excited to see more great things out of you, and I know you're going to help a lot of people by using your expertise and putting in these courses for them to benefit from. So kudos on that. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to hear what you're working on, what's going on in your business, and what you thought of the show. And Debbie, thanks again for coming on the show.